And sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. It's your happiness navigator, pollinator of positivity, shape-shifting woman wizard. That's me, Melissa Mojo B. Just buzzing in from the tree hive in the sky. You heard Dharma maybe. Meow, meow. In the background, we are bringing you, of course, a magic-charged broadcast and some messages, not just one, but multiple messages from the fairies this evening or whenever this finds you, because energy is endless and timeless. So let's get right into it and take a knock, knock, knock. And I'll ask you to take a knock, knock, knock on our deck tonight, so we can ask for some answers for the collective and some general magic charged messages from our fairy friends. Dharma is right into the action. She's purring in your ear, and we're sending best of intentions for peace, protection, and prosperity for the in-line loved ones. And we're playing with the fairies tonight. Look at that, peeking in. Let's see what we have. We'll pull 3 cards. It's going to be a nice, short but sweet reading tonight. Or as I say, whenever this finds you, be it rising time or in an afternoon or the evening. It's the perfect time for a little message from our fairy friends. And Dharma, the Reiki Master Cat, is purring along. This one here, Strength, the Strength card. The Strength card loves to come out of this deck, which is the Fairy Tarot. Strength, speaking of this inner strength, you know, it's also speaking of the strength that is surrounding us by our animal friends and great spirit, right? It's talking about being graceful. We've just come through that full moon energy, which is now in the waning gibbous moon we're just about to be into. So that's that time of being graceful and letting still a little bit more fall away before the new moon comes, and it's time to begin again and plant new seeds again. So having that grace and inner strength now while we're still clearing our garden, it's needed to overcome those challenges, those things, those last things we get to clear out before we really get to relax a bit and watch things grow, right? The power of kindness and forgiveness. Time to embrace how wonderful you are. Yes, you are truly wonderful and so deeply appreciated and valued by the universe just for choosing even to come into the earth experience. It makes, there's some intuitive messages here. Also came in at 11:11, and it's card 11. And so this is indeed a message of peacefulness, of walking through a gateway of peacefulness there with the lion and the lamb, and understanding that we can be the force that creates peace in our own perception. And a lot of the time it is just how we perceive things that is truly the magic. It is how we look at the lessons as blessings. It's how we seek, you know, the strength, the ferocity, but also the gentleness and the kindness. Those are the strengths of a true leader, the kind of leader that leads with love and grace, as it said, grace. Sparkle, sparkle with that one. Okay, that's card number 1. Can we get that so we can see it? Oh, thanks for holding on to that there, fellow wizard. Our little wizard toadstool there. And we'll pick 2 more. It's just going to be a really quick little slide in tonight. Just a nice, short, and sweet visit with our fairy friends. Dharma? What's Dharma up to? Dharma's chewing away at something. What does that mean? This is the 10 of Winter. Look at this beautiful card here. See if I can get it close. Looking off into the distance of everything that is golden, right? Coming from that frostiness, which really is a perfect card since we've just come through Beltane and the Scorpio full moon. So that's sort of the end of the darkness as we come into May Day and the really golden season of blossoms and the late spring and early summer. And our 10 of Winter here, talking about the resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off of our shoulders, the end of an addiction or codependency. And again, moving into new things, a new era. The 10 is always the end of a cycle. If we're looking at things intuitively, we know that the 10 is at the end of a cycle. And I think Winter in this deck is swords, which is thoughts. You know, it's the end of a thought cycle that we may have been keeping ourselves trapped in scarcity, in lack, in that frozen, maybe fear, maybe fawning, maybe just haven't fully stepped into our golden era, but it's here now. It's here now with the 10 of Winter because it is, you know, the resolution of difficulty. So Strength was saying it's coming in. This one's saying it's here. It's here. We're not only, you know, it's coming, but we're on the threshold. Look, it's just a couple more steps and we're in it. So I feel like that's also, as the new moon is coming, we would find that really kind of amps up that new beginnings. I guess that's how we're going to do it, right? We'll keep the 10 of Winter out front then whilst we pick our last card. And we'll pick that last one up and just do a little culmination at the end. Just talk about everything that we had come up. Hello to everyone. As you buzz into the tree hive in the sky, we are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 17 floors up, sending out positivity. I am a certified Reiki master, so also we have that energy, which we love to call cosmic rainbow energy, to activate, transmute, and evolve. And that is the acronym CREATE. So we love to co-create together. Thanks for finding us with your magical self. And the 8 of Spring. Look at all that sparkle, fellow wizards. And magic makers of all kinds, multi-passionate magic makers, find us here at the Tree Hive in the Sky and out doing happiness navigation on locations. Anywhere. You might find us anywhere, all across the world, fellow wizards. So this one here is talking about stress that comes from having many things happening at once, successful multitasking, and sudden events or changes. So it all really is this change, sparkle, 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 doing our very best to just relax into these changes and feel it as exciting and not scary as we go from winter into that golden era. Sometimes we're just so used to winter. Sometimes we're just so used to poverty or people so-called taking advantage of us, or these thought patterns that we've had for so long that it's comfortable there. And we choose not to step out into the golden era, but that decision has now been made. And we're moving away from that stress of having the multitasking and really starting to love it, as not thinking of it as ADHD or there's too much going on, but really learning how to work with all of our multi-passionate magic making ways. And so we'll see if we can reach down here and grab this card. And shall we take perhaps a little divination dice to go with it as well? So we had strength, and interesting that it came in at 1111, and we had card 11. So strength, the strength to face a new era where we can be both fierce and gentle and kind. Both are possible. This and that is possible. Dharma is, loves to be part of the show, and she kind of can't squeeze into this tight space, but next time we'll try to maybe make some room for her. So strength was our first card. Strength to face, again, the change, the stepping over into the new, right? The threshold. The threshold can feel very scary, but look at how exciting it can be. So that's one of the ways that we get activated by the fact that we're at the threshold, and we're activated by the fact that our bodies and our minds and even our ancestry wants us to stay in that same frozen way, in the same way. But it is our right and even our responsibility to step into the golden ways, to step into the era of abundance. And it takes a lot of courage to step at that threshold and actually choose to step over. But that's exactly what we're doing. We're staying strong and sparkling on, which is one of our favorite sayings. And appreciating the tears that have come and the lessons that have been blessings, and all of the people that have led the way for us to get to here on the journey. And sometimes look at this, this fairy's out there all by themselves. We've had to let a lot of people go. We've had to pass through a lot of villages and down a lot of long and winding paths to get to this threshold and really move over it. So we now can just be so thankful for every little sparkle along the way that led us to be so strong, that led us to be this strength that is able to be so balanced. Also, I feel like this is that balanced leader that's able to be both loving and strong, right? With the truth, not someone who would just say yes to everything, because that's not how it works, right? So there's such a thing as tough love, and that's true love as well. So it's a bit of both, right? It's a bit of the lion and it's a bit of the lamb, but it's definitely a lot of staying strong and sparkling on, sweet ones. So let's just throw a couple of dice for fun, because we like to talk about intuitive readings, and we can get a little bit of information and just practice our intuition. So we'll put our strength card so that we can see it, and we'll look into the table. I always like to think of this one as it's a good time to look at what we're bringing to the table, and also what other people are bringing to the table. So we want to have that balance, as in the lion and the lamb, and we want other people to be bringing that to the table as well. So there's a message in there about emotional intelligence, about, again, tough love, being able to have those conversations. And if we can't have those conversations, then maybe those are tables that we don't really want to sit at. So it's okay to pull your chair away from the table if it's not the kind of community feeling, the community building vibrations that we're looking for. I'm just watching a show that's about a kitchen, and things are really intense in there, and the head chef does not really take other people's opinions into consideration or actually action them having room to bring their ideas to the table. So there's a intuitive message here about really making room for everyone to have an opinion at the table. And if that's not happening, maybe something needs to shift or find another table. Okay, look at this. Soccer. Well, we know the World Cup's coming before long here in Toronto City, so that's going to be magical. And it's just talking about a little bit more play, a little less conversation, a little more action, a little more activity, a little more game playing with our loved ones, and again, finding some community, some people who bring some stuff to the table or who are willing to play ball. Look at that. Love those intuitive messages. It's so much fun. Really. What's this one here? Look at this. It's a really interesting one. It's this little person with a big shadow. It reminds me of sometimes how we think of our shadow self. You know, we think of it like we think of anxiety as this fearsome thing. There's a woman who does a great job of showing anxiety as a goth version of herself. And I laugh at that because there was a time when I also thought of anxiety as a really scary big thing. And eventually I loved my anxiety a little bit, that shadow self. And the more I loved it and the less I was afraid of my shadow self, the more I realized it was just trying to help me. So this is part of looking into our shadow self and seeing it just as like a playful friend that's really trying. If it's anxiety, it's trying to protect us. If it's anger, also trying to protect us. Sadness, that's love. So all these little monsters that we think we have inside that are big and scary and bad, none of them are bad. The happiness navigator knows that they're all beautiful little monsters that just look big and scary. And we can just put our arms around them and say, thank you for trying to protect me, but actually we're brave and strong and we don't need to worry. We know how to play ball, right? All right, so let's grab a couple more charms and then we'll just say we had this strength card 11 and we started at 1111 and we had the 10 of winter here with the going through the threshold from winter into spring, which is happening, and also just staying strong and sparkling on. Look at the past, not through that layer of tears, but through celebration. That is the message from the fairies this day. Crown thyself. Let me see. There we go. Crown thyself with that really regal. We're all the heroes of our own story, you know? We're all kings and queens of our own story. We have both masculine and feminine in us. We are angelic and of the earthly order. So it's really about celebrate this intuition, like the intuitive message on this little charm here is also, it's got that light blue for the throat chakra. So it's saying express yourself and express your story and don't be afraid to celebrate your power, because I'm here to remind us that we have this peace, protection, and prosperity that we can bring in at any moment. We're all empowered to do so. We are all of the stars. We're all made of this cosmic rainbow energy that I love to talk about. We can all activate, transmute, and evolve. And we're all always part of that universe and just doing exactly what we're meant to. Just like a cell in the body wouldn't be, we wouldn't say, oh my goodness, it's just a cell in the big toe. How boring. I want to be in the brain. Exactly where we are, exactly right now is the perfect thing. Just like a little shell in the sea. Might feel like it's nothing, but it's really as important as you and me. And we can give a lot of gratitude and grace and just reverence and awe to all the little things, even those little tiny shells. They all have an important purpose and they're all part of the great ocean that is what some might call God, or as we said with that star, the universe. The universe itself. Again, another crown. Another crown. Yes, indeed. Someone out here needs to be reminded how powerful they really are. Whether we're wizards or witches or a muggle, we are all truly the heroes of our own story. And that's why we can thank the villains as well, especially at this time of the full moon just passing and again crossing into that threshold from scarcity into abundance. We want to know that we are so grateful for our story exactly as it is and exactly how the people came into our lives and the situations came into our lives and gave us that royalty, that amazing story that's just ours. Nobody else can have our story. And thank you to everyone that made our story possible, right? Remember, you are powerful. We're all already doing Reiki. We're all really already masters of universal love. That's what we are. That's what we're made of. I love this as our last little charm. There's Dharma. She's like, I'll shuffle all the cards for you again. Knock them all down. Troublemaker. Yeah, so that heart around the world, that beautiful intention that we share here from the tree hive in the sky and all of us fellow wizards in the International Wizards Fellowship all over the world, Brazil, Australia, Scotland, the United States, India, all over the place. We've all come together with just an intention of love and a moment of shared magic. And even as we spend a moment that is so peaceful and so intentional, we create just a little bit of world peace, just a little bit more sparkle in a world that surely needs it as it crosses the threshold too. So, fellow wizards and multi-passionate magic makers, thank you for dropping into the tree hive in the sky. Do subscribe so that you can find us, because we're doing 100 live streams pretty much in a row, and you just never know where we're going to pop up, whether we're in the hive or out doing happiness navigation on location and pollinating that positivity across the globe, wizarding this world together. We would love to have you with us anytime at all. So, so much love. Dharma wants us to just show that, you know, she is part of this. Okay, so next time we're going to make sure Dharma can be seen. We said that at 2222. All just coming together here. All right, so love from Dharma. She wanted to really make sure I told you meow meow and everything is perfect. All right, lovelies, stay strong, sparkle on. You are so beloved. Bye for now.